Welcome to Adewale Adeniji, Nation, Heritage and Self. On this channel, we discuss national issues, Nigeria and Africa-centric, our heritage and culture, and of course, ourselves, how to make ourselves better in our personal and professional lives. Please go through our channel to watch our videos, and don't forget to like them and subscribe to this channel. If you click on the bell button beside the subscribe icon, you will get notifications each time we post a video. Enjoy today's video.
Hello there. Welcome to another episode of this channel. Are you curious about why you react the way you do? Well, I was for many years, but I no longer am because now I know why. It might just have to do with your emotions. So in this series, which we are starting with this first episode, we will be exploring the human emotion and how we can master the emotion to give us an edge in our social, economic, and professional interactions. Over the coming episodes, I would show to us that what we have that we might have been battling with really are things that we can not only master but to deploy to do great and mighty things for ourselves and for our interests. So in this first episode, which I refer to as the introductory episode, we'll be looking at what emotions are. And briefly, I would introduce you to two personalities whose names you will hear for the major part of this series. And then we'll come back in the next episode to look at some other things. Are you ready? I'm excited and I'm ready. So let's start. So the first thing is, what are emotions? I'm sure you might not have sat down to ask yourself that question before. Now, emotions are actually specific abilities, specific gifts and skills that an individual is endowed with. No much than that. Now, we live in cultures that are unfortunately categorize the emotions into two straitjackets: positive and negative emotions. Well, for the purpose of our understanding our emotion and understanding emotional intelligence, I would ask you to delay your own judgment on whether we really should categorize emotions into positives or negatives. Now, one of the people I said I will introduce you to is a neuroscientist called Antonio Damasio. And I'd like to show to you or give to you his own definition of emotion. Now, this is the way it defines emotions. It defines emotions as actions that require neurological programming. Actions that require neurological programming. Now, you will have noticed that in the way that Antonio Damasio defines emotions, he did not regard or categorize or label them as either positive or negative. We'll get to this as we progress in this series. Now, I need to be frontal about it to let you know that as a counselor and as somebody who has worked with people to help them understand their emotions, I particularly subscribe to this school of thought that really we should not pigeonhole our emotions, but that will be further down the series. Now, in this series, we will get to look at emotions from various perspectives, both positive, as people want to categorize, and negative, so that, like I said earlier on, you, my listener, would make up your own mind whether you really want to categorize emotions in that way. But before I go in this first episode, I need us to understand that for decades, science didn't know how to deal with emotions. In fact, some scientists had always thought that emotions and feelings were on interesting fields of study in psychology until modern technology enabled Antonio Damasio and his wife, also a frontline neurologist herself, Hannah Damasio, to use certain tools to convince, as it were, science that emotions are something that we should pay serious and professional attention to. Now, modern technology enabled both DiMaggio's, Antonio and Anna, to use tools such as neuroimaging. Now, what neuroimaging means is the relationship between mental processes and the activity of the human brain. So they used neuroimaging enabled by modern technology. They also used neuroanatomy. Now, what that means in simple language is the study of the structure and organization of the human nervous system. Now, in this series, I'll be using a lot of big sounding scientific words, but pay no attention to that because, as with every scientific word, there's usually a very simple explanation to the big sounding words. So I will try to, as I go along, when those words pop up in our discussion, I'll try to explain to you what they really mean. So coming back to how science has helped this discourse, modern technology has allowed both DiMaggios to use neuroimaging and neuroanatomy to move science away from the fact that emotions and feeling are not worthy of deep study. In fact, they have one of the biggest, I'll discuss that in details in the next episode, they have one of the biggest databases the world over that both neuroimaging and neuroanatomy has allowed them to build over time. So in this series, like I said, don't mind the use of those big scientific jargons. The essence of this series is to break them down and to make you comfortable with them. So as you prepare to enjoy this series, I need you to bear this in mind. Emotional intelligence is such an important tool. It's such an important tool that you and I require to leverage on our competences, both socially and economically, so that we can have an edge in whatever profession it is that we profess. But sadly, it is an aspect that we do not pay particular attention to. So please, keep an open mind. Come along with us in this series and see whether you would not only understand what emotions mean, but appreciate emotional intelligence and how to deploy it. I thank you for paying attention to this first episode, and I hope to see you in the next episode coming your way shortly. Thank you very much. Stay safe. I remain Adewale Adeniji. Remember always, we love you. Take care of yourself. Bye for now.